Hey everyone, this is Faze,
And this is Adil,
and welcome to the Faze and Adil Show.
where we talk about all things Harry Potter and more.
So let's start off with John Lithgow. What are your thoughts?
I think, again, we described this in our previous video. I think the age thing is of concern, but the talent and the way he can portray a British character, he is an American, right?
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
like a shock because HBO was trying to mainly focus on Irish and British actors and actresses for their cast. But the fact that they picked John Lithgow, like, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Like, he's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah,
He will be pushing like almost to his 90s,
yeah,
which is really old, but like I'm fine with his acting. Like I think he's won Emmys. He's known for a wide range of roles. So I think he'll bring like a great perspective to Dumbledore from his comedic scenes to his serious tones. I think he's honestly one of the, if it wasn't for the age, I think he would have been the perfect candidate for Dumbledore.
definitely, absolutely. In fact, what's interesting is right when that announcement kind of happened, he came out with a statement, and I'm just going to read that statement to you guys right now. It kind of got to me, not going to lie.
Yeah.
The statement, obviously, he talks about how excited he is, right? I mean, this is a huge role for him to be playing. I mean, he's done Winston Churchill before. He is a 6-time Emmy winning actor, right? So he's clearly a great actor, but he said, this was not an easy decision because it's going to define me for the last chapter of my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know we talked about age and him being old in our first video about this when there was just rumors and speculation. And in our video, we actually even talked about backups, right? Just in case he says no, because age being a factor. But he's kind of saying, like, listen, this is going to be the last chapter of his life, and people will probably remember him as Dumbledore. But I'm excited. I think he's going to do a very good job. Like we discussed, very talented actor, great actor, and I can already imagine him with the beard and the wardrobe. He's going to look great. And then what are your thoughts on Janet McTeer?
So personally, I only know her from, I think, her performance slightly from The Menu and Ozark.
Yeah, I only know her from Ozark.
So I think she was like, I forgot her role in The Menu, but I think she was like a reviewer or something. But you remember that movie?
Yeah, I remember.
Like she had, I think, a smaller role in it, and so I couldn't really determine her acting skills from that set. But from Ozark, I know she was like a badass. Like, like she was really good in
like
that.
Villainous almost,
So like, and she's young, right?
And
so
she's
which I like. She's in her early 60s, so I think she can last a whole 10 years for this series. And do well for McGonagall, who I think is also a badass.
So
definitely. I think she brings and I can imagine her. Like, honestly, I think she's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I can imagine her with the robes and her, transitioning as the cat and disciplining Ron and Harry. I think she'll be a phenomenal fit. What about you?
Honest, I was very excited because when I was watching Ozark, I was kind of like, there were two things I got from Janet McTeer, at least the character that she played was one, that she's a badass. And second, she was kind of intimidating. And I kind of like that for this because Professor McGonagall, like, she's kind of mysterious, she's kind of like, you don't fully know what's going on in her mind, right? And she is supposed to be a badass. I think the movies didn't show her as a badass as much as I wanted to. I think towards the end of the movies, like the last final few movies, you got to see her kind of take more initiative, especially after Dumbledore died. That's where you got to see her like really take full charge. But I think through the books, she is a little bit of a badass, right? So I think having someone
like
imagine
Janet McTeer during the fourth book, during the ball and scenes when she's like dancing with Dumbledore, she's teaching these kids. I think she'll do phenomenal. And also, I forgot, she was also in that limited series Chaos. On Netflix,
that's right.
And she was Zeus's wife. So she played Hera. And she was really good in that too. So that was actually the role that I saw most recently in. And she did really well in that. So I'm excited for her.
But once again, we want to know your thoughts, right? So leave them down in the comments section below. And of course, Adil and I have covered a lot of other rumors and speculation. Like I said, we were actually, I would say 75% correct with who was going to be cast, right? And we even think that there's a chance that Cillian Murphy might be cast as Voldemort. But once again, we're not going to go over the details of why we think it's going to be him. for all the rumors and speculation, watch our other video. It's in the link in the description below, or you can check it out somewhere over here. But be sure to check that video out. It's like a 35-minute long episode, and it also talks about how we weren't excited about watching the Harry Potter show at first, and now we are excited.
Again, like we said, HBO is taking the reins for this.
Yep.
I will not question HBO.
Yeah.
But I will question some of their things. But like overall, I'm not questioning HBO.
Yeah.
I know they give 10 out of 10 content.
Yeah.
And they have a historical record of that.
And also, J.K. Rowling is the executive producer on this show, right? And they want this, like we keep saying, we're not saying this, HBO is saying this, that they want this to be a faithful adaptation to the books, right? Yep. And that's why, you know, J.K. Rowling is an executive producer, and she is going to be giving a lot of creative input. It all comes from her imagination and her books, right? But as always, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so, and we'll see you next time.